Okay, so is this on? Okay, if we can take our seats. I hope there's no gum on your chair, Councillor Galloway. Okay, would like to call this meeting of Finance, Administration and Finance Committee to order. A motion to go into open session, please. Thank you, Councillor Foxton. Councillor Armstrong. All those in favor? Into open we go. Any declarations of peculiar interest for the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Scanning the room, seeing none. Any delegations? No. Presentations? No. We have the consent agenda items before you. And as you can see, we discussed in closed session for obvious reasons, the annual housekeeping of the general write-offs for the accounts receivable. I'd like a motion to accept the consent agenda items, please. Councillor Kiefer, seconded by Councillor McGarry. All of those in favor? And that is carried. Going into the regular agenda items, we have a report before you. The convention facility demand and feasibility analysis. Mr. Regier is here to speak on that if there are any questions. Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion, please. Councillor Jaworski, seconded by Councillor Nowak. All those in favor? And that is carried. Seeing the council, no items pending. Any other business? Seeing none, our next meeting is before you. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting, please. Councillor Foxton, seconded by Councillor Armstrong. All of those in favor? Thank you for your patience. Well done. You're welcome, Craig. Take my chocolate.
Hello, you. How are you?
There's a remote down there. Yeah, it's just beside my laptop. Over here. No, there's a presentation.
So the delegation.
There's a.
Hello, are you the delegation? Are you from House of Friendship? Hi, I'm Douglas Bartholomew. So you're all ready to go?
Our team members aren't here, but we thought they was going to be a little bit later.
The people, well, it depends on how much or how fast the business goes before everything just moves up. So, the speaker, who's the speaker?
It's us.
Great. Okay.
I'm Allison.
Allison, and I'm sorry we met. Marjorie, of course. I couldn't remember your name. I heard you speak to the city council of Cambridge.
I saw that one.
Yeah. Allison and Marjorie. Thanks.
And Leah.
And Leah?
And Leah.
Oh, all three of you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Put here for you.
Okay,
Jeff is the vice chair.
I think I see people coming in, but I believe our delegations are here, so if the committee will take their seat, we can just kind of move forward on this. Is anybody going to the chamber lunch after this? Have you already signed up for it? Or? I was promised a spot. They would save me a spot, so I don't know. We'll see. Okay, can everybody hear me? We'll call this meeting of Community Services to order. Any declarations of pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Seeing none. We do have delegations today, and we have Allison Dunn, Leah Reeser-Keller, and Marjorie Ann Knight. If you want to come forward and state your names and what you do and why you're here, and we can go from there. Hi and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Lorenz and members of the Community Services Committee. My name is Allison Dunn, and I'm the Community Services Director with House of Friendship. And I'm joined today by Leah Reeser-Keller, Manager of the Family Outreach Program, and Marjorie Knight, Family Outreach Worker. It is a privilege today to speak to you, to share the work of the Family Outreach Program, which serves families living on low income in our region with children 17 years and younger. Today, we will paint the picture for you about how far we have come as a community since you made the decision to amalgamate the Family Outreach Program under one lead agency. Can you go to slide 2? Did you know that the spider silk is the strongest fiber on Earth? It is more durable and elastic than any other natural or synthetic fiber, including Kevlar, which is used to make bulletproof vests. Picture 16 spiders spinning webs across the entire region. Our family outreach workers are so deeply embedded into the social ecosystem of the community. They spin strong, invisible webs for families living on low income in our community. Their webs connect families to resources and to neighbors, prepare families to be resilient when windstorms come their way, and enable families to take on prey or new opportunities to benefit their children. Simply put, these spiders are spinning their webs across Waterloo region that is making our ecosystem stronger today than it was yesterday. Today, we're here to share some good news. As a result of your investment in the Family Outreach Program, we are seeing more coordination and increased efficiency in the program. The Family Outreach Program is reducing the impacts of child poverty in Waterloo region, and the Family Outreach Program is leaving the community stronger than when we found it. Leah is going to take you through each section with help from Marjorie, sharing a story at the beginning of each area to illustrate the impact your investment is making in the lives of over 5,000 children every year.
3 years ago, I stood in the same room and spoke about a family of 8. I was walking within the community where I serve as a family outreach worker. That family of 8 has grown along with our family outreach program. They had many different needs. Jay wanted to not just get a job, but get a career. Nina was thinking along the same lines once all her children were in school. Their oldest, Maria, is focused on her future. She wants to be a doctor. What courses did she need? How could she achieve this? The younger children were all about programs: dance, basketball, art. We help them all achieve and work towards their goals and more, while ensuring their basic needs surrounding food and other necessities were met. We help them to become involved in their communities and introduce them to the necessary resources to help them on their way. Our program has become the hub of referrals, resources, and information for our communities across this region.
Notably, the Family Outreach Program has been operating for 20 years. That's 20 years this council has dedicated resources to serving families in need and helping to pull children out of poverty. 3 years ago, there was a significant shift in the program when the region moved to a single lead agency model. Prior to this, there were 26 mostly part-time family outreach workers scattered at different sites across the region, employed by 13 different sponsoring agencies. Because of the bold shift that was made to a lead agency approach, it's resulted in increased efficiency and coordination in a number of ways. Because of this shift, we now have 16 full-time workers under the leadership of one manager. We have a unified approach to service. We meet individual families where they're at and walk with them on their own unique journey. The philosophy and approach to serving families is consistent. Because of this shift, we now have a comprehensive database system that lets us seamlessly coordinate case management among the 16 staff and provides detailed demographic information to track family outcomes over time. Because of this shift, we've been able to manage the Basic Needs Fund and the service hours of the workers in a flexible and responsive way, allocating based on the changing needs in the region. We monitor program usage, and we can easily move the money and the staff to the neighborhoods where families need it most. Because of this shift, the intake process for families and referring agencies is simple. They can call or email a central contact or use the website form on the Family Outreach website to reach the family outreach worker in their neighborhood. In 2019, 47 different agencies and partners referred families to the program. Schools, faith communities, city programs, social service agencies, and caring neighbors know about the Family Outreach Program and are using our centralized contact information to refer families and get them connected. Because of this shift, the Family Outreach team is able to operate as one unit to share resources and connections across the region, and to leverage these partnerships for families' benefits. As an example, this made a difference to Jessica, a single mom in New Hamburg. She was moving out of shelter into an empty apartment. Her family outreach worker, Elaine, connected her with the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store in Cambridge and provided payment vouchers that she could use to purchase new mattresses for her and her 2 children. Because Jessica was a family outreach client, the store provided her with additional bedding, dishes, a free sofa, end tables to help with the rest of her household furnishing. And to top it off, the store delivered this to her from Cambridge to New Hamburg at no cost. This is just one of many examples of how family outreach has cultivated relationships with like-minded partners across the region to increase the impact for families, no matter where in the region they live. The family outreach workers' ability to leverage these partner relationships across the region made all the difference to Jessica to set up a cozy home for her family despite her limited financial resources. The shift that you made to House of Friendship being lead agency made it simpler to administrate the program, it's easier for partners to work with the program, and it's more consistent for families accessing the program.
Family outreach is reducing the impact of child poverty in Waterloo region. Child poverty has many forms: lack of access to resources, to opportunities, as well as a lack of economic stability. Children do not live in a bubble, and the Family Outreach Program is able to assist the family as a whole, which moves the family forward on their journey towards financial stability, emotional, mental, and physical well-being. This family, as many others, face barriers to achieving their goals. It seems simple. Get enrolled in a program such as the forklift training. However, how do you get there? Transportation is required. There are required personal protective equipment such as work boots. There is no participation in the program without that. For Maria to participate in her program with St. John's Ambulance, once again, transportation is required. To attend school, children require school bags, equipment, books, and pencils. To go to school, the adults require the same. And some of the cost of books are prohibitive. The asks seem small to many, but to these families, it can feel almost insurmountable. Part of the problem is that families are not aware of resources available to them in the community and region. And this is where the Family Outreach Program, in conjunction with its many community partners and its community members, are able to help. I say to my families, if you need something, come and speak to me about it. I may not be able to say yes, but I certainly can help you create a plan to achieve your goals and point you in the direction of other organizations with resources that can help. In this way, we help remove these barriers. So Jay got his work boots and bus tickets to get to his program. Maria was able to have bus tickets and eventually a ride from a community member to attend her program. The family is able to move forward on their journey to stability.
Last year, your investment in the Family Outreach Program served 2,242 families across the region, comprising over 5,000 children. And the data is broken down further on the screen. The families that we serve are the most economically marginalized families in the region. 95% of the families that we serve have an annual household income of under $38,000. 68% of the families have an annual household income of under $25,000. And you'll note on the screen, this is significantly below the low-income cutoff for a family of 4. So we are serving the families who are the most economically marginalized. The most common reasons for access following on this are that families are accessing for the basic necessities they need to keep their family well and healthy, and so that their children can be included in arts, music, and sports programs. This is the starting point of the conversation, which leads to much bigger questions around hopes and dreams and goals for their family. The highest density of families accessing the program is in urban areas, but it's notable that families are accessing the program in every corner of the region. This is why it matters that the Family Outreach team is mobile, connecting with over 40 partners across the region to use office space for meeting with families, as well as meeting families in Tim Hortons, libraries, even home visits as needed, so that we are truly meeting families where they are at. We've now been using the new comprehensive database, Penelope, if you're interested in the intricacies of database systems, for a full year. And this now gives us a benchmark to track outcomes for families over time. In future years, we'll be able to compare changes in annual household incomes, frequency of visits, and be able to follow up with families who received employment or vocational training to track the outcomes. In addition to this quantitative information that we're gathering, we're also conducting yearly participant surveys to track families' sense of belonging and connectedness in their community. And these survey measures are aligned with measures that other community partners, including United Way, Wellbeing Waterloo, and the Children and Youth Planning Table are using.
Today, this family is progressing well. Jay did forklift training and was able to secure a job. At the same time, he has been working on upgrading his weaker subjects so that he can apply to college to do electrical engineering. His job has allowed him to come off of OW and to have a company-sponsored healthcare plan for himself and his family. We're working with Nina, identifying what she's interested in doing for work, looking into volunteer opportunities she can use to gain experience and fulfill prerequisites for the program she wants to enroll in. Maria is working hard and has excellent report cards while she continues to volunteer in her community. Being able to facilitate training, access to educational opportunities, transportation, work boots, food, and other necessities of life has allowed this family to move forward towards financial stability while being active in their community. Jay has partnered with his community center to put up a basketball net and run a program for the youngsters in his community. Nina and the children participate in community programs as well as volunteer in the community. This has benefited the family and their entire community. The family outreach program is leaving the community stronger than when we found it.
These 16 workers, some of who are sitting here today in this room, walk with families living on low income every day. They encounter difficult and complicated situations, and their approach is full of creativity and compassion to serve families in our region. If there's one thing you remember from today, it is this: the Family Outreach Program will leave the community stronger than when we found it. These workers are deeply embedded into the community. They have developed trust with families. They know the area, they know the resources, and they have partnerships across the region. Last year, they connected families to 189 different community agencies, partners, and programs, helping to bridge the gap so families can reconnect directly with resources on their own. Yes, this program provides much-needed basic resources, but it's so much more than that. We focus on building capacity within families, so when a problem comes their way in the future, which it will, they will be better resourced to navigate through that difficult time. This creates a more resilient for all of us. Spider webs are invisible and unnoticed most of the time. But when you stop and look, you notice they're actually everywhere, organically spun and methodical in location. When you think of your investment in the Family Outreach Program, think of the intrinsic, detail-oriented, and strong webs that are being spun across the region. We are now 3 years into the lead agency model, and these webs are just getting stronger and stronger, further embedded into the ecosystem of Waterloo region. As we mentioned earlier, we are located in every single neighborhood across the region. Seeing is believing. So, today, we invite you to meet with us and a family outreach worker in your community so we can show you how this program is impacting families in your own neighborhood. My contact information is available here on the screen, and we can connect afterwards if this is something you are interested in. Going forward with your investment in the Family Outreach Program, we will continue to increase efficiencies in the program, further contribute to the reduction of childhood poverty, and work towards an even more connected and resilient Waterloo region. At House of Friendship, our dream is for all of us to belong and thrive. And in order to do this, we need to change the odds for children growing up in poverty. Thanks to your investment and the significant shifts in the program, you are helping to make this dream a reality. Thank you for your time today and for your support with the Family Outreach Program.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Allison, for you and your team coming in and sharing the important work that the Community Outreach Program at the House of Friendship does for our region. There may be a couple of questions, so don't run off. I see there's a few here anyway. I have to see if I can remember how to operate this thing. Councillor Jaworski.
Thank you, through the chair. I saw the photo earlier of Fariba in your PowerPoint presentation of our local Sunnydale one. Every time I go visit there, which isn't as often as it should be, she's always busy helping families. And, I think the real lesson is here that you don't know what you don't know. That applies to all of us, and to say that all these families are looking for help and wanting to make their lives better. And I think you mentioned there's 180 different resources, organizations you've hooked them up with. And there's St. Vincent de Paul that has furniture that they want to get rid of, and there's people in New Hamburg who need furniture, and just all these connections. It just makes such a big difference in our community. I know for a fact that every one of us here at Council is very proud of House of Friendship and all the different agencies that are helping people. So thank you for the wonderful presentation today.
Thank you.
Well said. Councillor McGarry.
Thank you very much. And I also wanted to add my grateful thanks to you from my community on the work that you do. I've been in to see the program operate. I've witnessed families being assisted by your programs. And I just really wanted to say, I don't think that we could manage our families any better than you can, so thank you. My only question is, where do I direct people from my community who ask to donate items or to assist in really furnishing and assisting those families in need?
One of our shifts with the Family Outreach Program is to change our focus so that Family Outreach, we're doing the connecting because we're mobile, we're not set up to be able to store furniture. So Marjorie and others partner with all kinds of other organizations that connect it. Like we mentioned St. Vincent de Paul in Cambridge, that they have been a wonderful partner for us, especially in that community. And there are a number of others as well. So I would suggest connecting with Marjorie, who can give you a list of places that we partner with a lot who would be able to make sure that that furniture gets into the hands of families who could really use it.
Thank you very much, and I'll do that.
Councillor Shantz?
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, and I just wanted to reiterate, I guess, what Mayor Jaworski said, that the work you do is invaluable to the community, and I know I've had opportunities to chat with Shirley on a number of occasions, and if you do get the chance to talk to one of the workers and hear some of the individual stories, you'll really appreciate the work they do and the impact that you make in the community, so thank you.
Thanks so much.
Councillor Galloway?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank you as well for the great work that you do, and I think council has shown itself in the past to be really supportive of upstream types of programs, that this is certainly one of those, and the root causes are really the same in all these various programs that we support. And it's so very important, and it certainly pays off in a variety of ways, but particularly for the families themselves. The question I had was, are you reaching a point where you have a waiting list, or that you can't provide service to those who are requesting it? Are you having to prioritize, families that you will be providing service to over others? Is that an issue at all? You've got you have 40-some agencies or whatever referring people or referring families. Are you able to deal with all those referrals?
I bet you know all about budgets. We have a budget, and we need to stick within our budget. So it's not always easy. But I'll tell you one thing about this team of mine, is that we are extremely creative, and we are extremely linked in our communities. So while my hands might be tied because I can't put out a certain amount of money for somebody that I would like, I can find somebody who will. Sometimes it's another organization. Sometimes, Lord knows, it's, hello, Facebook friends, and you get something. I had a nurse the other day. She came from another country. She didn't have a nursing degree here. She has to do nursing all over again. She has 2 young children at home. She has no computer at her home. She has to go to her school early in the morning and late at night so she can do her thing. My budget will not run to a computer. There are others in the community who will. There are those who have refurbished ones. There are those who will buy a brand new one and send it to her house like it happened in this occasion. But we never stop trying. We never, ever stop being creative and finding ways of getting people the help that they need. And I think that is the beauty of our program. We're so linked now that we can't do it, but for sure, we will find someone who will. So no, we try to leave no stone unturned and no person unserved.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Erb.
Thank you for such a good news story. And it's nice to see that the reorganization of the program has been so successful. And special thanks to the people that are doing the day-to-day work and opening the doors for other people. And it's gratifying to know that the impact that you're trying to make with children and teenagers and trying to reverse that cycle. My question is, my assumption would be that almost all of the clients you serve live in region-supported housing. Would that be correct, or not necessarily? And so part of my question would be, how does the support services that the region provides and folks that don't live in Waterloo Regional Housing, how does that connect or coordinate?
So not everyone lives in housing, but there are people who are assisted in their rents, in their market rent housing. There are people who are not assisted by housing, but they do receive Ontario Works or ODSP. What our job is if there is a resource that is provided by the region, we're going to connect you. I have people, for instance, who come out of shelter, especially the women's shelter, where they're coming out with the clothes on their back. There are things that the region will help to provide for these families above and beyond what I can provide. And we will make sure to connect them with that. So it's no stone unturned. Yes, not everybody lives in housing, but everybody has other needs that can also be helped by the region and their resources and their programs. And we make sure that we connect them with these programs. We have a very close relationship with the programs that the region runs. We work very closely with Lutherwood. We work very closely with the housing department. We work with everybody that we can. And there are times when we all sit down together and make a plan for a family, because no one agency can do everything, but together we can get most of it done. So yes, we work very closely and hand in hand with these agencies. If it's available, we'll find it.
I just want to add a follow-up note, going back to the database, which I get to work on, so I get really excited about it. But we're now able to track for families. Part of the intake questions is, what's your living situation? So we're tracking what percentage of families are living in subsidized housing, what percentage are in market rentals, what percentage own their homes, and we can look at that over time. And I hope that we'll be able to contribute that to the region's social planning information as well about where families are living.
It's a pleasure to hear the determination in your voice of finding new creative ways and ways to connect to help those. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any other questions. Thank you very much for coming out, and for the people that showed up a little bit late, if you were here at our last committee meetings, you would have been waiting because we were way behind this. Today, it's the luck of the draw, and we're finished a little bit early, so. I know my wife doesn't believe in this, but it does pay to show up early sometimes. Thank you so much, and keep up the great work. Really
Thanks so much.
You coming in.
I sure wouldn't help with my car.
Well, she doesn't watch this, so I can get away with it. So let's move to the rest of the consent agenda. There are 2 items. Any questions on the quarterly report? Charges and inspections? Okay, I just have one. How long does that information and the other information stay up on our website if someone wanted to go to the website to see if they wanted to go to a restaurant and see if it was on that list? How long does that information stay for, Dr. Wing?
Yes, I'll ask the manager, Chris Komorowski, to give the answer. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Through you, Chair.
Yes.
When it comes to the website, there's a 2-year history of all the inspections for all the food premises. We also have an enforcement page, and that outlines all the food premises that have been charged or closed, and that stays up for 6 months.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. That's good information. Okay, there's also a motion for the Canada-Ontario Housing Benefit. Is someone prepared to move that recommendation? Moved by Councillor Jaworski, seconded by Councillor Armstrong. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor then? Opposed? That's carried. There's nothing on the irregular agenda. There's no information or correspondence. Other business? I can see. Motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Harris, seconded by Councillor Shantz. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Thank you. Have a good day.